We are going to be looking at the chapel room bathroom today. And did you know that sort of in between the lockdowns, I filmed in here in the chapel room with Stephen, wanting to redo the chapel room for yoga retreats. So I was really, really excited. I think because after the first lockdown, we kind of thought that was the end of the pandemic and I was going to have yoga retreats. Anyway, they were all obviously canceled in 2020, but my hope was that, the pandemic's over. I think it was summer 2020, and I had 2 yoga retreats going on that year, which didn't happen. So
basically it sounds like Julie had been making plans for this bathroom and probably getting really carried away with what was going to happen without telling me anything.
No, not so much. I think I had Malcolm's designs, and I was really excited because we had 2 yoga retreats planned that year, and I wanted to make this ensuite bathroom, but then pandemic.
But we should take a step back because people may not know that we have a room that we're going to look at now, which is the chapel bedroom.
Yes.
That has no bathroom. Now, I've just been looking at some historical records of Mapperton in the early 20th century, and do you know how many bathrooms there were?
1.
2.
Oh, okay.
2 in the whole house.
Right.
And one of the what's happened? Why do we all need bathrooms suddenly? And baths and lavatories.
You like baths?
They did perfectly well.
I know.
Without them.
Well, let's go see.
They went outside and they walked off in the cold and got on with it and came back and it was fine.
Okay.
Julie arrives and we've
we've
got to have bathrooms.
That's right.
How many bathrooms have we got?
That is what happened. I'm serious.
How many bathrooms?
Because when your parents were here, they only had about 2 or 3 baths.
No, that's not quite fair. There were probably 5.
Okay.
But how many have we got now?
I mean, I knew that they put in a few.
The point is, if people are coming to stay here, particularly if they're paying to come on a yoga retreat, then I think the modern expectation is that each room gets its own bathroom. Let us know if that's your expectation. But if you'd be happy coming to stay somewhere like Mapperton without a bathroom, we'd love to know that as well, because
if you would love to come and stay and go outside, is that what you're saying? And use the bathroom, a bathroom.
It's kind of a romantic thing to do.
Use nature outside. Let us know.
Nature calls, and you head off to the lavatory at the back of the garden.
No, I don't think anybody here is going to want to stay at Mapperton if they don't have a bathroom. If we were like, and here's your beautiful room, but the loo is outside.
I think that's perfectly acceptable.
Okay, he can do that. Test it. Let us know.
So anyway, we're going into the chapel room, and it's one of the finest bedrooms in the house. It doesn't have a cupboard, so when people come here, they have to hang their clothes on this rather ugly bamboo
I didn't pick that
rack.
up. Did not pick
that
up.
Well, I know, it was because we didn't have a cupboard, and there's not really anywhere to put a cupboard here. So that's why we have that. We need something better, it's true.
No, I think you could put a chest of drawers there and put the cupboard there, maybe.
But we redid the bed. It's got a new cover and it's got a new canopy, and it's in pretty good shape, this room.
It's very shiny, that canopy.
There's so it's not real silk. It's kind of something more modern, I think. So, yeah, a bit of a mistake. Anyway, now this is where you would think you would just walk in and...
It's locked.
It's not locked, it's just stuck. And you come in here and you think, oh, it's a bathroom. It's not a bathroom.
No.
And you know what? It's really cold.
It's very cold in here.
Isn't it cold? No wonder.
There's no heat. The heaters are here, but they're not on.
And you've just reminded me of something really important that needs doing before we can even consider having a bathroom in here, which is important, which is that these mullions need quite a lot of repair. If you come over here, Stephen, and have a look at the stonework, there's quite a lot to be done.
Yeah, and you can see
look up at the top.
The damp kind of coming through, or the water dripping down.
I get so...
So are we going to do this bathroom now or no?
I get... When I walk into the parts of the house that I haven't seen for a while, and then I look at the state of the windows.
There's some lovely paintings here.
This one is fine. This one's all right. We've got this design from Malcolm, which is here.
Yes.
The wonderful Malcolm who helps us with all these drawings. And if we orientate it the same way as the room we're standing in, you can see that the bath is going to go on the left there.
Lovely.
The lavatory is going to go right there. And the basin will go here.
And the basin will go there.
And do you know what? I think this will be one of the finest bathrooms.
Yeah, I do too.
Because actually you have a complete view, which means that when you get out of your bath, absolutely stark naked, and look out on the horizon, not only can you see everything that's going on, but everyone else can see you too. So I think that's a problem. Do you think we're going to need some nice frosted windows? Or...
Maybe, but I really like this.
Well, that's an old laundry basket.
I know, but it's lovely. Look at it on the inside.
I've never liked it. I think
What?
Yeah, and it's Lloyd Loom.
What's Lloyd Loom?
But you're right. Well,
I think it's lovely.
It's this sort of weaving.
I really like it.
Do you like that? Okay,
yeah,
well,
I do.
We can reclaim that. Anyway, back to the bathroom.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Off piece.
She gets so distracted.
I know. Well, because it's like coming in here and I found a couple treasures. Do you see?
A laundry basket is a treasure. That's you know. What
It
a
is.
life to
It
find,
is.
to
Because
find
look at the
treasures
markings.
in
No,
laundry.
it is. I mean, how old do you think this is?
That?
I always have to ask how old it is.
Well, it's probably just from the 50s or something.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay, so that's
like
not
very long ago.
70 years.
I know that in the context of America, which is
like
quite
that.
a young country, 50 years.
That's going in our bedroom.
70 years.
I really like that.
I don't want that in our bedroom.
What? I really like that.
Okay. Back to this.
Yes.
Which is why we're here. She's just still not looking. Okay, so here is the side elevation.
Yep.
With the bath.
Yep.
Over
you can
there.
See that.
And guess what? I have found a suitable bath, because what we don't want to do is to buy a modern bath. We want to find an antique bath that would fit. And this one here, and it's called an original French roll top bath, and it's got these rather lovely feet. Comes from the Allscott Bathroom Company near Birmingham, and we've done the measurements, and it absolutely fits the bill. So
who found that,
order
Malcolm? Or you
found
that?
I found that.
Impressive.
Yeah. And I think we just
Put it
fit it here.
And you like the colour?
Well, the colour is going to be painted white, actually.
Oh, you
So
are. You're not going to keep the Farmhouse colour paint.
Well,
I think you should. I like it.
Well, no, that's not the. You're misreading this. It can be painted. It's been primed.
Oh,
that's just a
primer.
Julie doesn't know much about paint, you see.
I do.
Yes,
I do.
That's just an undercoat.
Okay, I thought it was really pretty, the undercoat.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay. It kind of goes with the carpet.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, all right.
All right. So
Anyway,
when are we
so
going to get this started?
So that's the plan. Well, the problem, as ever, is it's yet another project with yet another big price tag. So, but I'm hoping we can do it this year.
Okay.
Is the plan.
Okay. Well, yeah, I hope so too.
If we work hard, we might manage it.
Right. Well, I'm excited. That means it would be done in time for the next yoga retreat, which is sold out November 2022. But I'm going to be now doing another one in December. I know that sounds really cold, but I think it's quite nice to come here when the public aren't here. There's the public out there. And I also think it's to have a house like this and with the fire going, and it's really cozy, and you can have warm baths, and we can go cold water swimming, because the pool will be done by December 20.
Maybe, if we're lucky.
22.
Fingers crossed.
So fingers crossed.
Now, this is a project that has been on the list for some time.
I'll tell you when. So this was a project that was on the list in 2019. We had plans drawn up because we wanted to put a bathroom in for my yoga retreats, but then the pandemic hit. We lost all visitor income for basically almost 2 years, and we weren't able to do it, but we're resuscitating this job because of Grand Historic Tours.
Grand Historic Tours is this new opportunity for people to come and stay at Mapperton. If you're interested, you can go to grandhistorictours.com to
Description down below.
Out more, but Julie is absolutely right. We've got people coming, we're delighted to say, in October, and this is going to be one of the rooms that they're in. But Americans, like most normal people, expect bathrooms, and there is no bathroom here.
That's right.
So as we sort of wind our way through, there is a little annex which would have been a dressing room originally.
I think it's a beautiful room for a bathroom. I have to be perfect. But I'm excited about this.
This is going to make a great bathroom, isn't it?
It is going to make a great bathroom. The other thing is we've been in here a couple of times because Malcolm and I looked at the designs before. But again, putting in a bathroom here and in this house is not easy. But this is, again, another big project that we definitely will be doing this year.
That one, this one,
top of the list.
Is very high on the list. It's going to happen.
And we'll be filming it all for you, and it's starting very, very soon. So I'm really excited about it.
This is actually one of the big new restoration projects here at Mapperton. And I'm really looking forward to the bath because it's going to be this way. You're going to lean back and you're going to have these wonderful views of the stables, the countryside, and I can wave to other people on the other side of the house over there.
Okay, so, not really, but yeah, but this is, stay tuned. If you're new to our channel, do be sure to subscribe because I think you're gonna want to see this bathroom being renovated.
Julie's in charge, which, as you know, makes me nervous.
No, it's gonna be brilliant. It's gonna be brilliant. So again, right now it's storage, so there's just storage stuff in here, but this could be a fantastic ensuite bathroom, and we actually have the plans for this bathroom. So we do have a plan to put in a bath here. We have the plan for all the piping, to put in obviously the loo. So we didn't do it, but we are doing it now. Welcome to our latest restoration project, which is here in the chapel room and making an ensuite bathroom. And you know, when they were first originally built, you would have just one bathroom for all of the bedrooms. That's it. So this is our lovely cast iron tub, which is about to be put in there. And it was a real sweat getting this up into this room. So I did some fun time lapsing of that, but that is that bathroom there. And then we've found in our sort of collection of goodies through centuries of bits here at Mapperton. I mean, I need to rehang bits of this. I'm going to clean it. And this is going to be the lovely chandelier in our very grand bathroom, which I hear some painting going on. So I think Malcolm, interior designer extraordinaire, is here. Okay, so we're deciding paint colors, everybody.
Yeah, so this is the first one. Because the thing that we have to bear in mind is that this room comes on from the chapel bedroom, which we're not decorating at this point.
Right.
So we need to use something that works with that space.
Yes.
So this is our first choice.
This is our first choice. Okay, it's a bit bluey.
Yep.
I think it, a bit bluey.
Next color. Ooh.
Ooh. I quite like that.
We have these lino tiles.
Yes, yes. I love the checkerboard effect.
Is that?
Definitely. This is my favorite.
Okay. Well, I have a third choice.
Okay, all right, okay.
Well, that's quite soft and gentle.
Yes, it is. Oh. It's pretty. So for me, it's between these two. I don't know now.
My choice?
My choice is that.
Yeah,
okay.
there you go.
Okay, it's agreed, everybody.
That's our paint color.
What would you describe this color, Malcolm? You know, I'm very bad at sort of descriptive words apart from...
Well, it's a very pale aqua. It's not quite blue and it's not quite green.
No.
It's sort of somewhere in between.
I really like it. And it's got a bit of grey
and
in
it's
there
grey
as well.
too, exactly.
Yeah.
So, which I think really picks up really nicely with the tiles.
And then what are we doing on the ceiling above?
So what we'll do is we'll take the cornice in with this colour.
All the way.
All the way.
Yeah.
Include the cornice because it's all part of the moulding. And then the ceiling we'll just do...
Right, so do we need to patch those ones
so
up?
those holes will get filled.
Okay,
so
great.
That's that. So what we've got to do here is, because we need to maintain some privacy, can you see these little brackets?
Yeah, yes.
So at some point there would have been a sheer blind that hung from there. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to
Reuse
those little brackets, get a brass rod
Yep.
to go through, and then to hang a shear. This is the sort of thing that we're looking at. I think that's a bit too sharp a colour, so I would go for this ivory
Yeah.
colour here, which I think will look good against the stonework.
Oh yeah.
And then
It's lovely.
against
And then
our wall
against.
colour.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you see that?
And with that looks great.
Yeah, well, it's quite sharp and smart,
Yeah.
isn't it? And then
Okay,
what we're
fantastic.
going to do is from, you see where these curtain rods are?
Yes.
What we're going to do is, rather than having curtains that pull, is to do a Roman blind which will drop. So
Okay.
it's just sort of just a much sleeker
Right.
look and not sort of over fabric.
Right, right.
So
and
then-
overcomplicated, I
Yeah.
think.
So then for that, what I would suggest is something like this. I quite like the sort of the texture of this fabric.
Yeah.
It's sort of like a linen. See, I think
yeah.
that's really quite gentle. And again, sort of just, it's that whole sort of soft grey
Yes.
look, sorry.
I love
with a
it.
bit of colour. So, there we go.
That's it. Well, I'm
That's
going
your
to have to
bathroom.
get, that is my bathroom. I'm going to have to get that paint ordered, and I'm going to have to get my red boiler suit on. This is not my red boiler suit, just in case you thought it was.
It's your red jumpsuit.
It's my red jumpsuit. But I am going to swap this for my red boiler suit, and I'm going to start painting everybody. So, wow, next episode.
Rubber
that
gloves
is.
on.
I'm here with Raymond and we're going to be looking at drainage, where the drains run to, where the foul water runs to, coming out of the house and then heading off down into underground caverns and pipes. But Raymond, this starts off with a bit of a problem, doesn't it? We've got this bathroom that we're putting in, and unfortunately, where the drainage was coming out, we decided that we were going to put it into one part of this underground chamber and it should have gone into another. Raymond, explain to us.
That's right. Well, we've got to obviously come out of the bathroom up there, and we were going to come along into this big deep manor, which we'll show you in a minute. But we decided that it actually separates inside. It's a Victorian thing where you sort of drop the foul waste alongside the rainwater, and they never mix. It's quite a clever thing. So we found another manhole in the back there that we've got a spare gully in it. We're going to connect up that, and so we're going to dig a little trench around there underneath the garden and up round and just connect it up where that blue bag is there.
So the original pipe was going to come down straight into the chamber here, and this is the extraordinary thing that you're talking about. The Victorians, who were these amazing engineers, came up with this very clever system for splitting out what you might call the solid waste from the rainwater. Raymond, I quite want to go down there with the camera and with Chris. What do you think?
No, I'm afraid I can't let you do that, Luke, because
why not?
well, because you are going into a confined space below the surface, and you've got to have special equipment, breathing apparatus and things to do that.
Right.
Because you could pick up all kinds of things. If you look down there, you see that's quite deep.
Wow, look at that. That is absolutely astonishing.
Yeah.
Because we think of this house going up quite high. What you don't realise is quite how far down it goes.
Yeah, because that, like I say, that goes underneath the cellar floor.
Right under the house.
Yeah.
So they must, because obviously the house is much older than the drain system. So they must have dug under the house at some point.
Because this is relatively modern. This is sort of, I think the map shows 1907.
Right.
And it's still, because these are rainwater ones, this one.
So we've got these different pipes here, which is rainwater coming in on this side.
Yeah.
And then in the far corner over there,
that is soil.
you've got a separate chamber.
Yeah.
And that's where all of the lavatories and the bars and everything are running off into that.
Yeah.
And it's got this little sort of separate chamber, which is so clever.
And
Raymond, there's a ladder here for me right there.
No,
it's not happening, is
I'm
it?
afraid, Luke, you can't go down there.
He's not going to let me
No,
go.
you can't. It'll be...
What's the risk then? That I'll get overwhelmed by noxious fumes and gases?
Which you won't smell.
which I won't smell.
And
They'll just take me out quietly.
And then suddenly the cameraman and myself will have to try and get you out.
Well, you know, Chris is pretty nimble. Rainbow, do you remember the last time I went into a chamber?
Yeah, I do. You better get up, I think, Luke. Got it in?
Oh dear, it's going to go. At the moment I let go of this, and I cannot get it.
Steve just said it might blow off.
You did?
Yeah.
Have you got any sort of hammer or
Yeah.
mallet or something?
Bit of iron.
So we haven't got a great track record with
Well,
Luke heading into underground chambers, have we?
But luckily that was clean, drinkable water,
Yes.
potable water.
Whereas this certainly isn't. But what we're saying though is that we've got to connect this new soil pipe, waste pipe from the new bathroom to that long one going down, and there's a manhole with a connection over there.
That's right.
Instead of the pipe coming straight
Yeah.
through here.
Yeah.
So that was the mistake.
So-
That's where we got it wrong, and we've got to
so-
redo the pipe work. It raises an interesting point, this though, which is that I had always heard that Mapperton was built on bedrock, that it was actually really quite hard to dig down into the soil here because of the high level of rock supporting the house. This actually suggests you can get really quite far down. I would think that that is a good 15 feet, isn't it, down there?
It is.
Of course, we do have a graveyard for the church here, where
Yeah.
as far as I know, only Mrs. Labouchere, who owned the house
Yeah.
in the 1920s to the 1950s, is buried.
Yeah.
My understanding is that she's the only one because it was so hard to dig into
Yeah.
the rock. There we go. Right. Feeling a little unsteady.
Well, he's all right.
He's all right. Now, Raymond, we have got a map here
Yeah.
of all the drains
Yeah.
for the main house.
Yeah.
And this is dated 1907.
Yeah. 1907.
It's extraordinary. So we can see that we've got the main house over here,
Yeah.
and then the chamber that we were looking at is right there.
That's
and-
right.
And those are the pipes
Yeah.
running across
Yeah.
and into another chamber.
Yeah. That's an even slightly deeper one.
And then slightly worryingly, there's a pipe that comes out of that chamber and goes straight down
Towards the swimming
into
pool.
the swimming pool.
Yeah. But down somewhere here, which is, if we looked out the window, they're almost directly opposite us. Someone who used to work here years ago said there was a chamber there, a collecting chamber, which we've never ever found. People have never ever found. And we think that chamber was overflow, then it overflowed into the swimming pool.
How long do you think this is going to continue sitting here, Raymond? Another couple of 100 years?
Well, I hope Nestor and William will look at it in
Look
a few
after
years'
it,
time
yeah.
and say, or William and then Nestor, look after it and say, well, that's where Dad said the drains were, and that was it.
It's got a bit damp, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It always needs a little bit of restoration.
Yeah.
But we'll have to leave that for another day. Welcome to Mapperton on one of the stormiest days that I can remember. We've got the remnants of Hurricane Nigel barreling down on the country, and we're expecting 50-mile-an-hour winds today. I mean, the wind has already really got up. There are trees swaying everywhere. There's a real risk that some of them might come down, and we had the most almighty thunderstorm. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. There was lightning every couple of seconds in the night. It was extraordinary the way that it lit up the place, so incredibly dramatic. When we have storms like this, we have to think very hard about safety for visitors. And so one of the decisions that we took today was to close the gardens. It's just not safe for people to be out next to trees when they're full of leaf and we've got 50-mile-an-hour winds. You know, there's obviously the risk of them coming down. Anyway, this is quite something. I've obviously got to go around the house and check for leaks, you know, we've got to tell the public that, alas, they won't be able to visit certain parts of the gardens where we have the risk of trees. Anyway, it's about to absolutely pour, so I think I'm going to get inside and go have a warm cup of tea. I'm here in the chapel bathroom with Raymond, and today is a pretty big day, Raymond. What's going to happen? It's going to be transformed, isn't it?
Yeah, well, today we hope to second fix all the sanitary ware, the basin, that pedestal I'm fitting in over there.
So the pedestal is going over here. That's where the sink is going to be.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just move it over.
Yeah, those two, man, it's heavy.
Don't want to drop this. Right.
Those two little horns go in there.
Surely, Raymond, the lavatory is supposed to be there and the sink is supposed to be there.
No.
You sure?
Sure.
So these are all going to be plumbed in today.
Yeah.
And then you've got some boxing
Yeah,
in.
you've got the boxing to do.
And the remainder of that. And what about the bath, which is going to be here?
Yeah, the bath is resting out there at the moment, and we've got to prop the feet up about 32 mil.
On the bath?
Yeah.
What, to lift it up?
Yeah.
How are we going to do that?
Well, we haven't quite decided whether to make some little round pads that fit nicely underneath those claws.
So you can't really see them, because you wouldn't really want to be able to see the rays too much.
Malcolm said he didn't mind if he saw them when we sort of painted them black.
Right.
Like a circular thing or octagonal.
Yeah, a little circular black thing, maybe.
Or
what do you think? Do you think we should go with little circles or little squares?
We'll see how high we've got to come.
But Raymond, by the end of today, what's your prediction? What's it going to look like in here?
Well, like a bathroom, but unfortunately we won't be able to use it because we still got
the outside drainage to do.
Yeah.
So I won't be having a bath here yet.
No,
is that the answer?
Not tonight.
Okay, all right. Well, listen, I'm going to get out of the way because it's all happening.
Yeah.
Thanks, Raymond.
Okay.
So you may wonder what I'm doing with these pendants. This looks a little bit like a rather glamorous earring, but it isn't. It is in fact a piece of crystal from a chandelier, which is going into the new chapel bathroom. And I have spent much of this morning trying to piece back together all of these different sections so that they fit and can be hung onto the chandelier, which is over here. And you can see how delicate this is. There we go. And the pendant is hanging. There are some gaps. There are some pendants that are going to be lost forever. Once we've done that, we've then got to mount this up above, and we've got Lloyd, the electrician, up there at the moment. He's going to be taking this and doing that shortly. Now, you'll notice my cunning use of the rope for the clothes hanger up above the Arga, because I've spent much of this morning holding this thing up in one hand, and only just now have I realised that there's a much better way to do it. But look, this is one of the longer pendants. This should be going into there. So that is now attached. And all I've got to do is get it into this little loop at the bottom. There we go. All done. That is ready to be mounted. Lloyd is helping us with electrics here at Mapperton, and we've got this challenge of getting the chandelier up. And Lloyd, what are we doing? We've got to replace these.
Replacing the chains, making them a little bit longer as well because it's gone on a very high ceiling. So we're going to just drop them down a bit, up, change the chains over, hopefully. So we'll just link that one
So
on.
we go, oh I see. So what do we do? Do you want me to hold
If
this?
you can just hold that a second, we'll just push that one together and then we'll put the three new ones on before we remove any of the old ones.
Okay, and
Just grip them back to shape.
this was the only place that I could work out to hang the chandelier, because the moment you put this thing down, all of the pendants start falling out. Do you think, Lloyd, that maybe we should take it off here and I should just hold it? So I hold that.
Yep. 1, 2, 3, and I'll reshape that one.
And then once we've done that, we can, what, clip off the old chain?
We'll cut up
Is that
the old
right?
one, and then I'll take it straight up and put it in situ so that it's safer. It is safer on the roof than it is down here.
Right.
And that, we can literally hook that straight on.
Ready to be hung.
So what I'll do is I'll take the 3 together.
Okay. Do you want me to come the other side? Or?
No, that should be fine.
And you're just going to get each one onto the hooks.
Okay, I've got it.
You got it?
Yep.
Sure. I'll hold the ladder. Have we got it the right height? Tell us what you think.
There we go. And
That's it, isn't it?
I think the top ring is actually, over time, completely bent out of shape.
Right.
I mean, from down there, once it's up, you'll never see it.
Yeah.
But obviously, when we put it up from that, when I put it on exactly like our links, it kicks it out. But that looks okay to me from here.
That looks fantastic. Yeah, the bottom of the bulb sort of somewhere.
Somewhere in about this height.
Yeah, come up a little bit from that. Yeah, bottom of the bulb there, that sort of thing. Perfect.
Okay.
Wonderful. Lloyd, thank you so much. So the chapel bathroom restoration continues. We've only got a week or two before people come, but I still am confident. Julie's been away this week. I hope she's going to be pleased with progress. Obviously, the sink is in, the lavatory's in, the bath is nearly in, the chandelier on the ceiling. I think we're doing pretty well. I think we're going to get there. I think our first Grand Historic Tour guests are going to have a wonderful time, and whoever's got that bathroom, they've got the most magnificent view while they soak in the bath. What could be better?
So here we are. Wow. The floor, unfortunately, was laid first before I was able to get in and paint. I've just been incredibly busy, and so I am gonna have to tape around, not very much. And I've got my tape here, tape around just so I don't get that, but I'm gonna start to just cut in. So I'm gonna cut in and then I'll do the roller paint at the very end, which will be super easy. But again, this is the color that we chose. It's kind of everywhere now. It's great. But I've got a sugar soap first. So a lot of the paneling here, you can see it's got quite a lot of just dust just because of the work that's been going on in here. And so I just need to sugar soap that first. There are some bits that still need sanding as well. So I'm gonna sand first actually, and then I'm going to sugar soap. So that will take me about an hour, sand, sugar soap, and then I should be ready to cut it in. Polly, who is a member of the Montague family, happened to be in the area, and she came by and helped me paint. And she's super creative. She obviously has her own sort of handwriting stationery business, like super creative and like an amazing painter, decorator. And so it was amazing. I had Polly here and she just like whizzed through everything. And so I'm just now getting to the top bit. I just want to get the first coat done. I really love this color. It's a beautiful, beautiful sort of greeny gray. And yeah, so I just want to get the top done. The difficult bit will be, do you see up here, Luke, like this? You know, I can sort of, but you know, I've got to go in there.
It all looks difficult to me.
So that's going to be, I mean, it's not that bad to be fair. I've just got to really get it in there. But we're going to take it all the way up to here, and then this will stay white. Well, this is it, everybody. I'm showing you and you
This is very exciting.
the transformation here. Now, first of all, want to say a huge thank you to our Mapperton patrons. Because of them, we were able to create this ensuite bathroom, which is very hard to do in homes like this, isn't it?
It's been a long time in the making, this bathroom. We had to go through planning, we had to go through design, and obviously very grateful to patrons for supporting the different ways in which we restore this manor house, one of which is to give it sanitary wear. Is that
That's
the
right.
word?
And the reason we created this ensuite bathroom is because we have Grand Historic Tours, our first one, coming up.
This weekend.
This weekend.
And guess what? People sleeping in this bed
That's right.
need somewhere to have a bath. Has it happened? Have we got a
Yeah,
bathroom?
well, first and foremost, everybody, I want you to notice on the 4-poster bed something different.
Well, that is very different because this is material that has come from our old family home at Hinchingbrook, has been sitting in a chest for centuries, but has now a new lease of life as part of this 4-poster, which makes it look really smart. In
Yeah.
fact, so smart that I'd want to jump in there. But it also
So-
makes me think this may not match that. So
No.
at some point,
We
we're going to
will-
have to come up with some new...
Well, we
fabric
will,
for the bottom.
because this fabric was around here and down there. And if you look at the before, everybody, you can see how we have transformed this 4-poster bed. And we've taken off that sort of
Can I-
bits
can I-
around.
can I-
No,
can I
because
just-
it's, nope, because we've made the bed. So,
Oh, okay.
and we put in a Persian carpet here. So
Need to pull a
yeah, pull that a
little
bit.
bit of-
And some luggage racks here, some very smart luggage racks, ready for our American guests who will be staying in here. But I actually really love this room. I love this room now.
Right, bathroom.
Right, so you've woken up and you're like, okay, I'm ready for my day. And you get to enter into this brand new ensuite bathroom. Now, still little bits to do because it literally has just finished, but beautiful, lovely color, a very, very soft sort of greeny gray.
This is actually a French bath.
It's beautiful.
Come all the way from some chateau in France to be part of an English manor, and I think it's much happier here. It's incredibly wide at the end, isn't it?
beautiful.
It's going to be great.
It's
Can't wait to have a
beautiful.
bath.
And you can have a bath and you can look out and see the views. You can pull it if you're like, nope, I don't want views, or you can open them up as well.
So we've got these sort of muslin curtains so that you have a choice of privacy or not.
And Roman blinds.
And Roman blinds on top. So look at that. Very smart.
Very,
Tuck that bit underneath.
very smart. I mean, so
Up again.
smart. And behind here, I found this in Antiques Market, nice towel rail. I'll be hanging towels on very, very soon.
Does it fit?
Yeah, it fits great. So it's there, towel rail, beautiful
Towel rail.
new sink. Gosh, we just need a light bulb here. Oh,
I'll go get a light bulb.
speaking of lights,
I know, well, we've seen that already because
Yeah.
actually I helped put that up. I cleaned it, polished it, stuck it under the hot water in the sink, which I probably shouldn't have done.
Oh,
But it
worked.
It did the trick.
Look
Hooray!
at it!
Bathroom.
gosh, isn't it so smart? I mean, this is proper smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just works. The proportions, the space between the different things. Critically, we've got a radiator, so you're going to be warm both inside and outside of the bath.
I think, Luke, for the big reveal, we can now take
Oh,
off.
we can.
Yeah, we can.
There's
Let's
some-
take the
there's
tape
some,
off.
There's some tape. This little panel here
That's
goes in
Literally.
because this is where the water switch is on. We're not switching the water on yet.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
We're still attaching an outside wastewater plug.
So fingers crossed the water
Watch
is
out
going to
for this
work.
because it's been put in quite
Oh no,
There we
mine's
go.
working just
Is yours
fine.
working okay?
Yeah,
That's actually quite satisfying, isn't it? Because
it's really
it
satisfying.
leaves a nice clean line where the paint was.
Yeah.
There we go.
Wow.
Look at that. One of the critical things, obviously, for a bathroom is to have a floor. And we've got these wonderful lino tiles that we put in. But what we really had to be careful about was the risk of any water
Yes.
going down through into the ceiling below, because it's an important ceiling underneath. And so what we've done is made sure that there's a seal all the way around the edge. So if water does come, it should be held here until somebody has time to get their towel up and give it a good mop.
Yes, because
That's
many
the
of you
plan.
were asking why didn't we keep the timber floors that were underneath, and again,
It would have just leaked through very quickly.
and
if
the
we-
ceiling
if
is
we'd
really
done that.
important down below.
We also did have an issue with the height of the bath, where because of the drop level for the wastewater, we had to actually raise the bath because we couldn't raise the floor. So we put the bath has got a couple of extra plinths. It's sitting on these plinths, and that levels it out and makes sure that everything's good. I think that all works. Looks like we need a little bit of a final polish.
You know, getting this bathtub was a real.
Super heavy,
Getting up
proper,
Oh my goodness.
antique cast iron bath all the way from France. Quite grand legs, actually, sort of griffin's legs or something. So once again, we want to thank our patrons for their support of this project and others. If you're interested in becoming a patron, please do consider going to patreon.com/Mapperton Live. There are lots of benefits. You join a wonderful community of people, many of whom have become our friends, some of whom are coming to stay next weekend, who
so
we
exciting.
interact with. We have live monthly Q&As. There are goodies. What do you get in the goodie bag?
Well, you get tea towels, photos, Christmas cards, and what's really exciting is just the generosity of our patrons really does help support this important part of England's heritage. So do check it out. Details down below in the link.
Into one of the newest rooms in the house.
Definitely my favorite bedroom now. But we found these wonderful velvet and sort of gold metal thread hangings, and they had been from Hinchingbroke, which was the original family ancestral seat, and we found them. We had just enough to go on the inside and the outside for the palmet around this 4-poster bed. It's absolutely
Again, this
beautiful.
bed has got a brand new mattress. Look how deep and comfortable that is going to be. Good selection of books for anybody wanting to read. And then I'm afraid you've got my great-grandfather, George Montague, who needs a bit of a clean, actually, because it's quite a dark picture. He will be watching over you. And we are now into
Ta-da!
the latest addition to Mapperton House, which is the chapel room bathroom.
That's right. It's so beautiful. Absolutely stunning, beautiful. We've done an amazing job, and we've got this fantastic cast iron French bath. Wow. Really, really beautiful. I'm so pleased with how this turned out. It's been a project in the making for about 5 years.
Sure has been.